everybody, and welcome to Q&A. So today, Marcus Penner writes, the theme of my encounters with recruiters is that they are two-faced. They always say a thing and then don't do it. That really sucks. What's going on with these people? Marcus, excellent question. Let me see if I can help you out with this. HR is not your friend. This has been often talked about previously. Usually with regard to if you're already an employee and you're working in a company and you have a complaint or something and you take it to the HR department, people find that the HR department doesn't side with you, it sides with the company. This is true. And the hiring process is usually conducted, at least officially, by recruiters, and they are members of the HR department, and the HR department is not loyal to you, it's loyal to the company. The company signs their checks. And in addition, the company has given them the goal of having to supply a workforce that not only will do what it's told, but it will do it in such a way that it minimizes cost. Okay, so it maximizes efficiency. That's what the HR department is responsible for. And I know what I'm talking about here because I've had an HR department report to me. Now, their loyalty is not to you, and this extends to recruiters in the hiring process. Their loyalty is not to the public. It's not to candidates. It's only to their company, to their employer. If you don't believe me on this, let's look at some behaviors that have been often discussed, especially in recent years. If ever you've been ghosted by a recruiter, you're getting a taste of this. If you're in the hiring process and you're talking to a recruiter and you've maybe gone to an interview or something, and then all of a sudden the recruiter drops off the face of the planet. They cease all communication. They stop responding to emails or messages or voicemails, and you can't raise them anymore. Chances are what's going on is that you have been eliminated from the process, but they haven't done the decent thing, the professional thing, which is to inform you of this and possibly give you a reason why. Instead, what we usually see is that you are ghosted. And if ever you are given a reason, it's usually not the actual reason, because revealing that would be a liability. And taking the trouble to contact every candidate that did not make the cut is very labor intensive, right? And this goes against efficiency. This takes up time, which means man hours, which means cost for the company. So that's primarily why they don't do this. Another behavior we see quite often are ghost jobs, right? Where if you've ever applied to a job and there's a job posting and you send in your application and you hear nothing, and then you wait a month or two, and then you see the job reposted a month or two later, it's probably a ghost job. There's no actual real job there. It's simply placed there by the company in a very deceptive tactic to try and do some form of labor market research to find out who are the available candidates, where are they, how much salary are they looking for, things like this. So there's two examples of recruiter behavior right there that can hopefully convince you of where their real loyalties lie. Now, the hiring process is no different. A lot of you guys that go to job interviews and you sit down and across the table is a recruiter and you're wondering, what's this person thinking? What are they looking for? What's their reaction to what I say? What are they wanting to hear? And when they make representations that signal, you can trust me, can I take that at face value or should I beware? And you should beware because these people should not be trusted. Now, let me explain. An employee's relationship with their employer is very complex. In one sense, you're partners. In another sense, you're adversaries. You have your own self-interest that doesn't align with theirs, right? You want two different polar opposite things. In some senses, you're working together. So it can be very complex. It can lead you into a false sense of security that you're not dealing with an adversary, but a benefactor of some kind, which is partly the case, but it's also not. So that's why we have to be aware of this. Now, how many times have you heard that representation from someone? Oh, you can trust me. Usually it's from someone selling something that you don't know, right? Someone you've just met that wants you to trust them, right? That describes a lot of people's interaction with recruiters under similar circumstances. You just met them and they want you to be honest and they want you to tell them everything, right? Now, I'm not saying that these people are evil or these people should, you should do the opposite of what they want you to do all the time, but just keep your guard up. The other thing that recruiters generally look for in job interviews is they're not necessarily looking for the most qualified candidate. This comes as a shock to a lot of younger job seekers and a lot of less experienced job seekers. Instead, recruiters generally are looking for the lowest risk candidate. And that means the candidate that's most likely to work out. There's no weird behaviors, there's no surprises, they're not disruptive when they become employees in any way, and they perform completely as per expectations. And they're not going to rock the boat. That's what recruiters in general are looking for, that and likability, which usually go in, the same direction. They are not wanting employees that will ask a lot of questions, that will make a lot of complaints, that will require HR to do investigations or try and diffuse unionization steps or strike action. All of those cost money and they are labor intensive for the HR department. So they're looking for the lowest risk candidates that will shut up and do what they're told and not cause any trouble and not rock the boat. Now, what's the takeaway here? Marcus, what's the takeaway from all of this? This is what I would say. These people are behaving purely in the interest of their employer. The only thing they care about is whether you happen to have exactly what their employer happens to be looking for. So they are not judging you in an absolute sense. They are judging you according to that standard. Do you have exactly what the employer is looking for? And sometimes employers are looking for some pretty weird things. And usually, sometimes not the greatest things. So don't ever let these people make you feel bad. You are not being judged in an absolute sense. And this is evidenced by the fact that a lot of people get rejected when they apply to jobs until they get accepted. Somebody comes along and says that, you are what we're looking for, right? That tends to suggest that, you had value all along, but for some reason it didn't work out. Well, we know the reason. It's because you didn't have exactly what that employer was looking for. And sometimes they're looking for silly things. So don't let these people erode your self-confidence or your self-esteem, okay? They have no loyalty to you. None whatsoever. Keep that in mind. And this is okay. It's manageable if we're aware of this and we behave accordingly. And behaving accordingly means you always look out for number one, you look out for your own self-interest. If you are pursuing a lead with a recruiter about an employment opportunity, it's okay to pursue other leads at the same time. Cast a wide net, and you don't need to disclose anything about what leads you're pursuing or that you are indeed pursuing other leads. You're going to act in your self-interest the same way that they're acting in their self-interest. So although this behavior from a lot of bad recruiters is annoying and it's disheartening, it doesn't matter. You can still succeed and you're going to succeed despite this. Okay. So if these are the kinds of people that you're encountering or sometimes encountering, don't sweat it. You're going to be fine. And not to make this, super long or anything, but just to say one final thing, and that's that a job search campaign is a numbers game. I've said this many times. A lot of people have said this many times. You're going to pursue many, many leads, and it's very serendipitous. Most things won't work out because, they're just looking for something that you're not looking for. You just don't have. And it could be a stupid thing, and that's fine. But sooner or later, you're going to just happen to encounter an employer who's looking for the exact thing that you have, and it will just work out beautifully. It'll feel right from the beginning, and it will just magically work out. And that's what I mean when I say it's serendipitous, okay? So stay in the game for long. Don't let these people bring you down, and you're going to be fine. Okay, Marcus? Thanks for your question. That was a really awesome question. Thanks for watching. You guys are awesome, and I'll see you soon. Take care.